association. So that takes two forms. So say, for instance, I don't know if anyone's dog gets really excited when they see the lead, or when they're supposed to check where their food is kept, maybe, or when they see their food bowl or anything like that. So what's happening is the lead on its own, or the food bowl on its own, doesn't mean anything to the dog. But what's happening is the lead is being paired with then the dog getting to go for a walk, and then the food bowl is being paired with the dog getting the food, getting dinner, with love. So, those things are taking on the same significance. but they only get